Hi there guys, it's Jacob here and welcome back to my channel. So recently I posted a video titled Mortgage Free at 30 and I will link to that above if you haven't seen it. But basically the short story of that video is at around the age of 23 years old, I bought my first property and had a goal of paying that mortgage off by the time I was 30 to enable me to be mortgage free at 30. But somewhere along the way, as I explained in that video, I deviated from that goal and ended up moving house to the house I'm currently in and taking on another mortgage. So basically, I did not achieve that goal. And off the back of that video, somebody asked me in the comments, do I regret not paying off my mortgage and taking on another mortgage? Do I regret it? And I thought that was a really interesting question and one that I have pondered over for a little while before making this video, because honestly, I thought it was an interesting question and one that actually was not as straightforward as I first thought it might be. So I guess the short answer to do I regret it is no, I do not regret it, but it is not as black and white as that. I don't regret taking on another mortgage and not being mortgage free, because quite simply right now I am in the house that both me and my wife wanted to buy, wanted to live in and wanted to make our future together in. And I could not have done that if I didn't take on another mortgage, because the house we ended up buying was far more expensive than the house I was in before. So yes, I could have been mortgage free had I stayed in my old house, paid off the mortgage at 30 years old, I've been mortgage free for the rest of my life. And honestly, that would have been wonderful. But is it realistic? And the answer to that is no. Our goals in our lives for our future were bigger than just staying in that first house that we bought. We both want to have children in the future, and that meant we needed more space. Now, we don't need that right now, but this house that we've bought was planning for the future. And we intend to stay in this house for the foreseeable, for as long as we can both imagine right now. I don't imagine moving from here. Obviously, that may change in the future, but right now, our plan is this is our long-term house. So like I say, we could not have moved here had I not taken on a bigger mortgage and another mortgage. So I do not regret taking the mortgage on, because if I did, we wouldn't be here. But that is not to say that it doesn't play on my mind the fact that I could right now be sitting here mortgage free, although I wouldn't be sat here, I'd be sat in the old house. But you know what I mean. Right now, at 30 years old, I could have been mortgage free. And when you just sit and think about that for a little while, you think, wow, that would have been amazing. You think about all the money that, I'll be shelling out for this new house on the mortgage for the next 10, 20, 30 years, however long it takes me to pay it off. All that money would have been into savings, going into investments. Maybe we could have spent some on traveling and all these different things that you can think about spending that money on, that we have now committed to spending on this house. So, life, I guess, would have looked quite drastically different. I mean, I have a goal of early retirement. And if we'd have stayed in that old house and been mortgage free at 30, early retirement would have been nothing short of guaranteed, to be quite honest. I mean, you think about the money that, we'll be shelling out for this new house. All of that money could have been put into savings and investments that would have enabled us to quit work much earlier than, what we may do now and what the average person does. Because, we wouldn't have had a mortgage from 30 years old. We'd have just had normal bills. And for all intents and purposes, like I say, early retirement would have been all but guaranteed. But moving house and taking on that extra mortgage and choosing not to be mortgage free has, of course, brought challenges that play on my mind quite regularly. I mean, paying off this mortgage for one, that is a big commitment. we were months away from being mortgage free. Now we are years away. You know, it could be 10, 20, 30 years. Currently it's a 30-year mortgage. I don't intend for it to last that long. I do intend to pay that down and pay it off quicker. And obviously, currently I have a goal of doing it within 20 years, which would make it so that we will be mortgage free at 50 rather than 30 that it could have been. And I think that is a reasonable goal. And I do believe it's one that we can achieve whilst also doing other things that we want to do in life. But what I want to get down to, and what this video is about, is I wanted to explain that not all decisions can be made with just thinking financially. Some decisions have to be thought about with a different mindset. And although buying another house and moving to the house we're currently in has been and probably will be the biggest financial decision that I will make in my life, but it's not one that I can make purely financially, because moving house is a lifestyle thing, and it is something that we wanted to commit to for the future of our lives, not just our financial lives, like not just looking after my wallet, looking after the bank balance. Moving house is more than that. It's planning for our future. It's, being in the place we want to be. It's being close to the family that we want to be close to. It's setting ourselves up for the future. It's setting our children up for the future if we go down that route. There is a lot of different things that come with the decision to make, moving house. And they can't all be boiled down to just what does it look like financially. So ultimately, that is why we made the move, because for our lives, for our future lives, moving house made sense. If it came down to it just financially and we made this decision just about the finances, we wouldn't have moved, because, realistically, it isn't and hasn't been the best thing to do financially. But I believe it has been the best thing for us to do for our overall well-being and what we want for our lives moving forward. So I hope that answers the question of, do I regret not being mortgage free and taking on an additional mortgage? It certainly has played on my mind, because it isn't a simple answer, but ultimately the answer is no, I do not regret it. And I look forward to our futures in the new house that we're in and all the memories to be made. And ultimately, I believe that along with making this move, yes, it requires me to still work very hard to achieve other things in life, like early retirement, like traveling, and having nice things that we want throughout our lives. But I believe we can do that. I don't believe we're stretching ourselves to the point where, we have to really sacrifice in other areas. I believe we've left ourselves in a comfortable position that we can still pay off this mortgage with our bills and all that type of stuff and still do the things we want to do. But of course, as always, we have to be careful. We have to be quite frugal, but I do that quite naturally. And we just have to save and invest and think about our futures. And we will continue to do that. Right then, guys, I think I will leave it there. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons. And if you would like to help the channel out, check the description box down below for a few links that I've added. And guys, I'll catch you in the next one.